Hey everyone, Rizwan Jagani here, and as you can tell, I am not in front of my wall again. It's because I'm traveling! I'm currently in Karachi, Pakistan. I'm visiting family before I go off to Austria for the Classical Music Festival. And I figured since I'm in one of the two places I call my homeland, the other being India, I figured I will touch the subject that I have been long awaiting to do. And that is my, what is it like being an Indian Pakistani musician? As you know, we are famous for Bollywood. You have very, very great musicians up there like Atif Aslam, Sonu Nigam, Rahat Fateh Khan, Arijit Singh, but you only see the art that they put out. You don't really exactly delve into the personal journeys. Now, not to say that I cannot speak for everybody, because everyone's personal journey is different. But for me, this was my journey, and this is sort of what I faced with today. The first thing being is sort of like an immigrant mentality that I have to just sort of get across onto you. If you come from an immigrant background and your parents came from some place to sort of establish a new life for yourself in the sense of, you know, for themselves as a family and then also for you, and they hope that you sort of take what they've given you and go to the stars. And usually that means picking a career that will sort of give you a six-figure sum, you know, a good amount of prestige and status. And in most cases, it's either one of two careers, medicine or engineering. Others also include law and business. Usually you don't have any other options. There's no other, unless you decide to make it that way. And that is what I did. I did embark on those first two careers. My mom's a doctor, my dad's an engineer. For me, medicine was just not as fulfilling for the amount of work that I was putting in. Engineering, I don't know what was into me. I love math, but up to a certain point I can do it, and then afterwards it just goes down, down, down. For me, music was actually something that, you know, I turned to just to, you know, get more in touch with myself. And it was the one thing that, for the amount of work I was putting in, I was seeing so much progress. And at the time when I made the switch to doing a music major, I had done a great number of performances with my teachers up at Austin College, and I even accepted into my first concerto competition. So for me, I was actually seeing the results of everything while my grades in those other subjects weren't exactly working. What happened then was I decided to make the decision to switch, and that created a lot of issues because, you know, one thing about being an artist is that it's not exactly one of the most stable careers. Like, you know, you have to sort of combine either 2-3 things together to have a stable income, and there's also no guarantee that you'll be able to do it. It's also very competitive. One wrong note in a performance can be unforgiving, but let's put it this way. You have plenty of singers that lip sync and they can get away with it. But one of the big things that I faced was sort of log kya kahenge, which translates to what other people will say. And this is where the big Desi thing comes into play. Because Indian Pakistani culture is very much a collectivist society, almost everybody is sort of involved in everyone's lives, whether it's your immediate extended family or the community that you stay in. Obviously, family, that's a given. We are known for having these big fat Indian weddings, family gatherings where everyone is just together, supportive towards each other. So of course, all of my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandparents were literally like, Rizwan, what are you doing? You know, is this a career worth embarking on? And I've even had my cousins try to persuade me otherwise, of like, you know, maybe do music later, do something a little bit more frugal. Real talk though, if you have the energy to do something right now, you are going to make it work. The other issue is that a lot of times if you have a lot of parents that are either doctors or whatnot, they're going to expect their kids to do the same as my mom had expected of me. And so they have that mentality that, like, you know, mere bete doctor banenge, which means my kid will be a doctor as well. And in that sense, it's weird because it's almost as though it was preconceived notion that they are going to be doing medicine even if they might not like it. In my case, I kind of put my foot down, made the decision, and then begged for forgiveness because that's what I did. I don't condone doing that, but that was the route that I took for myself at that point in time. Fast forwarding a few years later now, I'm about to enter a really good master's program, and I'm very blessed for that. I'm going to Carnegie Mellon University. So usually when I throw that name out there, it makes people go, ooh, ah. But nowadays, because I've been so headstrong about being a musician and being Indian Pakistani, people are more inclined to learning about what all it entails. The hours it takes to practice, you know, learning repertoire, networking, all these different things. And that sort of has been riveting for me because at least, you know, people are still open to it. That sort of brings into a different idea. Because I'm in Pakistan, I'm seeing much more of that mentality where people are curious. People are like, you know, all the idea for, you know, chasing your dreams, making things work. Because let's be real, Atif Aslam did not start out being Atif Aslam. He rose to it, he worked to it. What's stopping me from doing it? It's not gonna be the auntie and uncle at the party saying that he's gonna grow up to be a hobo. In that sense, in America, that's sort of the mentality that I do face. Like, you know, I'll have a conversation with someone that maybe has met me after a long time, and I say that I'm going into performing arts music, they kind of just look at me like, oh, that's nice. And that's something that I deal with. But, the best thing is that you sort of just channel out the negative energy. In the best words of Stephen Schwartz, the famous song Defying Gravity, which is, me, that's like my musical mantra, where it's I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so, or I'm through playing by the rules of someone else's game. Well, where the rules were that you had to follow the cultural standards of, what your parents had done. And a lot of times it was hard for me because I had a lot of guilt on my hands. Like, this isn't what my parents wanted of me. They often tell me that, or told me at the time that, we did so much for you. Why can't you do this for us? And at the end of the day, it's still, the path that you pave for yourself. It's not the path that you're paving for someone else because you have to live that life, which means you are going to have a lot of things to do, whether it is medicine or whether it is music. You're going to have to work hard for it. And that's the big thing that I tell people whenever it comes to, they talk about my career and whatnot. I say, if I was doing medicine, I'd be working just as hard. I didn't have the desire to work hard in it because it didn't mean anything for me. But when it came time to preparing for master's auditions, I did prepare a full Bach suite. I did prepare a full concerto. I did prepare a full sonata. And I practiced about 6 hours a day to do so. So if you have your heart and soul into it, it doesn't really matter what someone says. It's just that I have to educate people in doing so. If you refer to my Scotia Festival of Music vlog 2, my interview with Yora Schmidt, who I have basically quoted a lot of that interview for parts of my life because I resonated with it so much. But he talks a lot about, you'll have the low days, you'll have the high days, and it's more about working through the middle, which essentially means just because you're doing something you love, you don't have to smile as though, you're on the runway the whole time, expecting people to believe that, everything is good even though it's something you enjoy. You're going to have good days and bad days too. The one thing I definitely like about what I'm doing is that I feel like I'm a sort of beacon of inspiration to other Indian Pakistani, budding musicians or budding artists of any sort that want to take the non-conventional route in life and do something else. Because let's be real, if, we listen to what our parents tell us all the time, especially when it comes to these sort of things, and we'll never be happy and we're sort of living someone else's life. And that was the biggest thing that was the hardest for me to just come to grips with, just because I felt so guilty about it. But now, by the grace of God, I'm happy, my parents are happy, my family is happy, and the people that have been with me on this journey are very, very happy for me. That's the best part about it now, and I know I've said that over and over. It's just that, I hadn't thought that I would get to this point where I would be able to feel those emotions. Yes, it is something non-conventional, but it is something that you can make work. And hopefully one day this will be something that, can actually be that option E other music or arts or journalism or something of the sort, where people aren't going to give you the eyebrows or just assume something negative because it is not something that they had already done. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I might do some branch offs of this video simply because it's a very heated topic for me and it's something I'm very, very passionate about. As always, please give me a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Share this video, especially if you have any artist friends that are just thinking of making this sort of move in their life. They might, grab a few tips from it. And be sure to subscribe and follow me on all my social media so you know what I'm up to. I have a few things going on in Pakistan, and then I'm also going to Austria from here for my second year at the Classical Music Festival. Until next time, take care. Have a great day. Bye.